My parents are hardworking and simple people. My father's a mechanic. My mother's a housewife. Um, Neither of them had the opportunity to finish secondary school. So one of the things that they've always done for myself and my brother is try to ensure that whatever opportunities they can afford for us, they do. And because of that, I was the first in my immediate family to finish secondary school, university. I have a master's. And that drive has been key for me in shaping how I go about things. I always say to people that there's this Japanese concept that resonates with me. It's called ikigai. It's this idea that there are a number of things that exist around you. And when it comes to what you do, you can do what you like, you can do what you're paid for, you can do something that benefits the world. And ikigai is like the intersection of all these things. When you do what you like, when what you do can maintain you, when what you do can benefit the world, that's like the perfect symmetry. And that's energy for me. I'm an electrical engineer. I have always had an interest in electrical engineering from very young. As I said, my father's a mechanic. You grew up in a workshop. You like the nuts and bolts and figuring things out, and that led off for me in electrical engineering. But then in my university days, I became involved in climate advocacy. I joined groups like at then was the Caribbean Youth Environment Network, and a number of us from that batch of people who were in CYN formed what is known as the Ghana Youth and Environment Network. And I sat down at some point and thought about the nexus between these two things, an electrical engineer and climate advocacy. And that's where sustainable energy comes in. And that's why my drive is in renewable energy, sustainable energy, because it gives me the opportunity to do both of these things, right? My field, what I like doing, and then at the same time, help in my own little way in the mitigation of climate change. I am lucky enough to lead a team of professionals that deal with the execution of these projects. GuySol, the program that you mentioned, aims to deploy 33 megawatts of solar PV in 8 project sites across Guyana. And these represent not the first investment in solar. There are other smaller solar programs, but it represents the single largest investment in solar to date. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, we commissioned in Guyana at Onaniming in Region 2, the largest hybrid solar facility in Guyana to date. 5 megawatt peaks of solar with associated battery energy. These programs that we administer are key in advancing our goals as a country. These goals are clearly delineated in our low carbon development strategy. Guyana wants to have an energy sector that is diverse and as carbon neutral as possible, and these goals are outlined there. So while we are currently in the process, as a matter of fact, we're finished with 18 megawatts out of that 33. I've had a slate of commissioning activities over the last couple of weeks. I have more to do before Christmas. And 15 megawatts, the additional 15 is currently on the way. The future is renewable. I think everyone is clear that we are on a trajectory that needs to be corrected. Greenhouse gas emissions have to be curtailed, and the energy sector is one of the key drivers of greenhouse gas emissions globally. It is my belief that there is always scope and opportunity for development in this field. And I would say, as a Caribbean youth, as Guyanese youth, don't let imposter syndrome get in your way and think that this is something that you need expats or persons from other parts of the world to lead in this type of initiative. We're perfectly capable of doing it. There are many, many, many young people and other persons in the region that are demonstrative of this capacity. So don't ever let that imposter syndrome nag at you and defer you from getting into this field. If it is something that you love and it is something that you have a keen interest in, you will never feel. It is true. It's a cliche, but it's true. If you love what you do, you never feel as if you're working a day in your life. So go for it, and there are many avenues for you to explore, and put your best foot forward. Getting this award, a lot of my friends, the joke that they make to me is that this is a youth award. I turned 35 about 2 weeks ago, the 7th of November, I barely made it. But one of the things, and this is my message to them resonates with me. I never felt really that I want to reach for some of these things. I never seriously considered applying because I felt that it was not something for me. And that is the same imposter syndrome that I'm talking about. It's very much prevalent. But I have encouragement from my wife, my family, my friends, and other professionals that I work with. And that helped me to take that jump. So I really want to reiterate to any young person, don't be deterred by this perception that you're never enough, and that there are others that can do this and you don't need to do this. It is better for you to take your future into your own hands and chart a way forward.